Hi, my name is Baljeet. I'm one of the co-founder and CEO at Simbo.ai. Um, my corporate background, it's been 20 years since I've been working in the industry. I started my career back in 2001 and worked in semiconductor industry for 12 years, and have been on this startup since last 8 years. I love to work on artificial intelligence and beyond artificial intelligence technologies, and I've co-filed 9+ patents along with my co-founder. What are we working on? So we're working on the clinical documentation space. Clinical documentation is a big problem, when it comes to countries like India or developed countries like US. In the US, doctors on average have to spend like 3 hours daily after their office hours to, remember all their consultations for that day and document them so that they can get their money from insurance. And when it comes to countries like India, they still use, majority of them still use, paper-based documentation, which is going to change. And to solve this problem of clinical documentation worldwide, what we have done is we have created this virtual resident doctors, okay, which actually are going to be witnessing or seeing as well as listening to the conversation, which is happening between doctor and the patient, of course, with the consent of the patient and the doctor, and taking care of the, regulatory aspects of that particular geography. But the idea is that virtual resident doctor is going to see as well as going to listen to the conversation which is happening between doctor and the patient, so that it can actually, like a real resident doctor, do a documentation, EMR documentation, real time. This will help doctors not only reduce time, but also save time. In order to save time, what we are proposing with virtual resident doctor is that before even before patients go and see the doctor, they are seen by our product. Okay, our technology, which is Bislu, and it will basically ask the patient all their problems and create a summary of the whole patient problems and send it to the doctor, so that doctor can again save more time. So these are the two use cases which we are going after with our technology, Simbo.ai. The product which we are calling as is backed by very advanced deep AI technology called Bislu. Bislu stands for Brain Inspired Spoken Language Understanding. And we are using neurosymbolic AI and explainable AI over here to derive the insights which are needed to do clinical documentation. Simbo Bislu is geared towards disrupting or reinventing the industry, clinical documentation industry on this planet. And the reason is because today, whatever solution we look at in terms of clinical documentation, they are mostly, at best we talk about speech to text solution, where whatever, doctor has to dictate, and whatever doctor is dictating, Simbo is going to type it as it is. That is what is, being happened. But, the way we are looking at it is actually, providing the doctors with, a real doctor in the room, which is basically enabled by technology, which is going to create documentation for them, just like a real doctor would do. I mean, just to give you a use case, for example, some of the doctors in the US or in India or across the world, actually, who are experienced senior ones, they get a resident doctor available, as an assistant who is helping them out, to do the documentations automatically, and they do not have to worry about it. And that is how we are looking at, we are looking at it like, providing a virtual resident doctor to everybody, all doctors on the planet, right? So that's where we feel this is going to change how clinical documentation is done, for this decade. Simbo is recognized by many organizations in India, especially an organization called CAHO, which is a consortium of all corporate hospitals in India. It has 500 plus hospitals under its umbrella. They have recognized Simbo as one of the best, product for solving the hospital problem. So we won the best startup award, out of 80 startups. We are also part of, Amazon startup ramp accelerator, which is helping us take Simbo to, large scale institutions or government institutions or public sector. We are also part of NASSCOM Tech Wizard Accelerator. One word to describe future disruptive innovations: